has thrown up a firestorm of global developments. Let's dive into the top 5 international headlines shaking the world right now. It began like any other flight, a quiet takeoff from Ahmedabad. But within minutes, it turned into a flaming descent into horror. On June 12th, Air India flight AI-171, a Boeing Dreamliner en route to London, crashed straight into the college hostel complex in Ahmedabad just moments after takeoff. 241 lives on board perished. The toll worsened as 39 people on the ground, mostly students and hospital staff, were caught in the wreckage. Miraculously, one passenger survived, a British citizen. The crash sparked national mourning, global aviation concern, and a fierce investigation into Air India's maintenance claims, which oddly show the aircraft was recently overhauled and declared airworthy. India has grounded several wide-bodied aircrafts in the aftermath, while Boeing and GE Aerospace have launched parallel probes. This was not just a crash. This is a wake-up call for an aviation system stretched by expansion and complacency. The shadows of war are no longer looming. They've arrived. And this time it's not through proxies, it's a direct hit. In the last 6 days, the long-simmering Israel-Iran Cold War has gone red hot. Israel launched a precision bombing campaign targeting Iran's nuclear installations and Quds Force leadership, including near Arak heavy water reactor that produces plutonium. Iran retaliated with massive missile barrages, some hitting the Soroka Medical Center in Beersheba, injuring over 200 civilians. And then came the shocker. Israel's defense minister openly declared that assassinating Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is now a war goal. This is no longer brinkmanship. This is open regional warfare. The risk of drawing in Lebanon, Syria, and the US forces in the Gulf, and even Russia, is real. Humanitarian organizations are warning of medical collapse across both countries. The Middle East stands on the edge of a devastating conflagration. From frozen ties to warm handshakes, after nearly 2 years of diplomatic frost, New Delhi and Ottawa are talking again. At the G7 summit in Kananaskis in Canada, Indian Prime Minister Modi and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney had a quiet but firm reset in bilateral relations. This comes months after India was accused by Canada of orchestrating the killing of Sikh separatist Hardeep Nijjar in British Columbia. But now both sides are pushing the reset button. Ambassadors to be reinstated, visa services restored, and economic dialogue back on track. India made it clear Canada is important, but trade will be driven by respect, not rhetoric. Canada's tone has softened since Trudeau's exit, and Carney's economic orientation appears to favor building bridges rather than burning them. Is this a tactical truce or a permanent peace? Time will tell. If war was a deal waiting to be made, Donald Trump says he is the broker who keeps making it. In a typical Trumpian flair, the former US president told Fox News this week that he stopped a war between India and Pakistan again. That's the 15th time he's made that claim. His rationale: using promised trade deals as a carrot for both South Asian powers. Even further saying, I'm talking to Modi, I'm talking to Pakistan, we are working something out, suggesting he sees South Asia not just as a geopolitical zone but a stage for his grand negotiation theatrics. India, of course, has denied any such back-channel interventions, asserting no third party can mediate in our regional matters, quote unquote. But that hasn't stopped Trump from projecting himself as the ultimate peacemaker in the most volatile nuclear neighborhood in the world. Then we come to the next one. It was a lunch with layers. Trump hosting Pakistan's military chief in the White House. Unannounced and incredibly symbolic. To an eyebrow-raising move, In an eyebrow-raising move, Trump hosted Pakistan Army Chief, now Field Marshal Asim Munir, for a private lunch, a first of any Pakistani general. Trump not only praised Munir for ending the war with India, but also went on to say he loves Pakistan and loves Modi. This meeting didn't happen in a vacuum. It took place while Israel bombs Iran and while India eyes permanent UN Security Council membership. Munir and Trump both have confirmed they discussed trade, long-term economic partnership, including artificial intelligence, mineral wealth, cryptocurrencies, Iran-Israel conflict, and Pakistan's perspective, appreciation of Pakistan's restraint in avoiding war with India in May. The most amusing reason, knowing Trump, is that Munir endorsed a Nobel Prize for Trump. So was the private lunch a gift for that? The optics explosive. India's Congress party blasted it as a blow to Modi's diplomacy and warned of US rehyphenation of India-Pakistan, a policy New Delhi has fought hard to end. So was Munir's visit a Trump tactic to position Pakistan as a future ally against Iran? Or was it an old school transactional diplomacy? Whatever it is, it signals a sharp pivot to South Asia strategy, and it's not one India will ignore. As Trump descends into war, one urgent question gripped Indian families. What about our people stranded in the crossfire? India launched Operation Sindhu, an IAF-led mission to rescue 110 Indian citizens and students trapped in Iran. And the first batch of Indian citizens from Israel might be soon on the way airlifted and would be till they cross over to Egypt. Flying under blackout conditions, IAF-17 landed in hostile zones to pull civilians to safety. Nearly 10,000 citizens of India were living in Iran. Israel has around 26,000 Indians. The last 6 days remind us of one thing: the world is always one spark away from chaos.